Welcome to week 2 of Battleathon. If you don't know what Battleathon is, it is a month-long readathon hosted and created by Melanie Reads, where we are battling it out bracket style, and we are also bonding with dragons. Dragons are definitely needed. Dragons are incredible. I am co-hosting the Red Dragon team with Lexi from Books with Lexi, and we are taking down all other dragons. We are the Ruthless Reds, and we're coming for that winning badge. At the time of seeing this video, it is not too late to join. If you're interested in anything that I say, if you just want to join and be part of the fun community that we have going for this month, definitely check it out. I will leave the announcement video down below. All you'll have to do is do your bonding prompt for week 1, and then you'll just continue wherever we are, so you definitely can participate at any point during September, so I hope that you do, and I hope that you consider the Ruthless Reds. Last week was just like an easy catch-up vlog, and this week I needed to get some goals going. And so when thinking, what is the #1 book that I give 5 stars? Typically, I give a lot of sequels 5 stars because I'm already committed to the characters and the plot and everything. I'm already inside their heads. I already am attached to them. I was like, well, sequels. I could read some sequels. But of course, that wasn't good enough for me. So we are introducing a spinning wheel of sequels for week 2. This has a bunch of sequels. I tried to prioritize putting things that were last book of a series because I mean, that's always a goal to complete some series. But there are just some sequels that I'm really excited for. I think about 6 of these are 100% 5-star predictions. I gave the book before 5 stars, so I should, in theory, give the next book 5 stars. And then a lot of these are 3 or 4 stars, previous books, hoping that book 2 will be a 5-star. The 2 that I most want to land on is The Golden Enclaves and The Girl in the Moon. I know that these will be 5 stars. These are both last books in a trilogy that I've given the first and second books 5 stars, so that's an easy 5-star. I know I'm going to love those. The ones I'm more scared of, Nobody Come For Me, Jade Legacy. Queen Comes to Power is a very much wild card. I did give the first book 2 stars. However, I'm really excited for the second book and I want to love it, so I'm hoping it'll end up being a 3 or 4 star. It's technically a day early, but I wanted to start an audiobook, so we're gonna spin and we're gonna hope it lands on an audiobook. Can you see it if I put it here? No, I'm gonna bend down. Okay, I can't even see what's happening. I am so scared. What is book 1 gonna be? Okay, The Hawkling. I will be listening to The Hawkling then, which I'm going to tell you what The Collarbound is about, which is the first book in that series. The Hawkling is actually the sequel to The Collarbound, which I read earlier this year for an episode of Book 2 Bestie, and I actually was given this as someone's worst book of the year, and it ended up being a 5-star from me. I loved the first book. We're following this character who is collarbound. What this means is he's a slave, and he has to listen to the commands of who put his collar on. What people don't know is that our main character's collar is actually broken and he has no master, and so it's kind of fun to see him get away with things because people think that he's collar bound when he's not. We're kind of learning about why he was collar bound, who gave him this collar. There is a magical school setting kind of on the side. We're also learning just a lot about the different politics and races going on in this world. But the coolest part about the story for me was the magic system, which it's all in your mind. The people have the power of their mind and they kind of go on mind fights. So some person will be the gymnasium and will open up their mind for 2 people to come in and fight. And then whatever the other 2 people can think is what happens. Your mind power, how strong your mind is really your magic, and you make people believe things based on what you're thinking in your mind and overpower people and stuff, which I thought was a lot of fun. Good morning. It is day 1 technically of week 2 of Battleathon. Lexi is sprinting currently. That's why the cat timer's up behind me on the big screen, and I'm about to go join her. But I figured I'd update you guys first. Coffee. Not that I ever put this away, but I definitely prioritize using my little ghost mug from Indigo during the spooky season months. Reading update. I read last night on Sprint's Grey Sister, which is a carryover from last week. I'm probably 60% through. I'm on page 202. This is a reread for me, and actually my first reread of a series as an adult, which is kind of fun to experience. The book The Ancestor is one of my favorite trilogies. I read it when I first started reading again, and I fell in love with Nona, her character, her bonds of loyalty, and just the overall world and style of this story Mark Lawrence's writing I'm a really big fan of. And I'm really happy. I've been loving the series just as much, if not more, on reread. Book 1 originally was a 4-star from me and ended up getting 5 on reread just because you can see so much plotted throughout book 1 that makes up the rest of the Book of the Ancestor, but also the Book of the Ice series. Book 2 I've always said has been my favorite of the series because of a character in it, and I still wholeheartedly love this character and the sass and commentary that he brings to the book. It's something I just like really, really love and really works for me. If you don't know, Book of the Ancestor follows Nona Gray, who ends up going to the Convent of Sweet Mercy, and this is a school for assassin nuns. And in this world, the ice is just like slowly creeping more and more, so there is less habitable land to live on, and the world is kind of like fighting for this small space of green land as it shrinks more and more and more. But there is a prophecy about a chosen one who is going to come save the day, and Nona could be that chosen one. That's all I really have to say about this one. My goal for the week. Goals for the week. Well, we already know the spinner wheel, but for today itself, I'm hoping to finish Grey Sister because the live show is in a week from now, and I would just like to get that out of the way. And obviously I didn't spin for Grey Sister, but I knew I had to read it for Backlist Bookclub. Today I do want to clean a little bit because it's kind of getting a little dirty in here. I want to pull out my spooky season sweaters because I think now that it's September, it's a great time to start wearing them. So I'm gonna put those and like hang them up. Yeah, so I really just, I'm planning to listen to the Hawkling a lot today. I started it yesterday, but I only got like 2 chapters in. To be honest, I realized I don't remember a lot from book 1 plot-wise, but in my Discord, Emma was like, there's not a lot of plot in book 1, so as long as you remember the characters and the world building, you should be good. So I'm hoping that as I continue reading that story will just like be refreshed in my mind, because I do think that the idea and the world building behind it is super cool and something really unique. So I ended up ordering sushi. We have some sashimi, some tempura, a couple cones of like tuna belly and avocado, and some miso soup. I have done very little reading today, but I will be reading all night long. And I'm on Lexi's Patreon sprints currently. Essentially, I started cleaning today and then got a whole idea and motivation to redo my room. So I went to IKEA, I bought a new bed and a new TV stand. I just steam cleaned my closet, so I'm putting all my clothes back in my closet currently, and then I'm going to be taking out my bed and my dresser and everything from my room, cleaning my carpet, and then building a new bed today and tomorrow. So I'm rewarding myself with sushi before I have to do the hard work. I will be listening to my audiobook during that. I'm still listening to The Hawkling. I'm about chapter 4 currently. I'm honestly kind of bored in it. I just want a little bit more plot than what's happening currently, but that is like what book 1 is. I think I just thought with the ending of book 1, book 2 would jump right into the plot, considering how little plot we got in book 1, and it's not. So we will see how I feel about it as we continue on. I am currently sitting where my bed was, and I do not have a bed here anymore. That's all I did today. Let me see if I can put you down somewhere. You were just like on the vacuum, so this is very sketchy. And I also don't think I've ever done a clip like laying down on the ground before. So very interesting, but this is where my bed used to be. I'm about to steam clean the carpet. It's about 11:30 at night, and then I'm going to bed. And tomorrow I will be building a new bed to go here, which is really exciting. But all day I spent like cleaning out my room. Like I tore everything out of my room. Like on that side, my mattress is over there. Took my dresser apart. Took my entire closet out, put my closet back together because I wanted to like steam clean the carpet in there. So it's been a long day. That's for sure. Oh. But while I did this, I did listen to The Hawkling, and sadly I'm not loving The Hawkling, which really sucks because like I gave Collarbound 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed Collarbound. If I had read Collarbound and The Hawkling close together, I think I still would have liked them, because I think The Hawkling is giving me what The Collarbound gave to me, and I'm still enjoying my time with it. It's just not like a 5-star feeling. I feel like the plot has progressed very little within the story, and I mean, if you've read book 1, if you've read The Collarbound, you know like, that's like the biggest complaint, is that it's like a setup book and it feels like the first 300 pages of a bigger novel, because it's all about like learning about the world and the characters and there's not a lot of plot. But because of that, I figured book 2 would then have a lot of plot moving forward. And book 2 just kind of feels like the same thing. We're learning more about the magic and the world building and the politics and the characters, but I want just a little bit more movement on the actual plot line of the story. And I'm like 75% into the Hawkling, and I feel like I haven't gotten that, so I'm struggling. I also don't feel as connected to the characters as I did in book 1, but I really like Tatter's character better, and I feel like we're definitely prioritizing the other main character in this one, whose name is not in my head currently. It's been a long day. Yeah, I'm not loving it, which is sad because it's gonna mean I only get 300 points instead of the 500 points I wanted. I guess I'll have to live with that. I'm hoping I'll finish that really early tomorrow morning. Well, I'm like building my bed because it's like easy to listen to an audiobook while I do that. And then I'll have to start another book, and I'm dog sitting for the week at a friend's house. I'm watching their dog while they're in Vegas. I will be off to do that as well in the afternoon, and you guys all will get to meet Nova, who is the sweetest little husky, and I'm very excited to watch her. That is my update for now. I'm going to bed after I steam clean this carpet. See you later. Good morning. I spent the morning loading down IKEA boxes. There are 5 of them in here. So that is now my plan to build them. Have an iced coffee. I got 7 hours of sleep last night, which is actually quite a lot for me. I think I finished this at like 12:30. And I was exhausted, so I fell asleep so quickly, and I just like slept until I woke up, which like also never happens. Just shows me that I really need to start working out more because my body needs to like drain its energy, and that's why like I'm not sleeping properly. Just like doing some sort of physical activity I think would help me sleep better, so I really need to like get on that because like I was so exhausted from yesterday, and that's not even a physical activity, but like it's just more than sitting around reading. Like typically my brain is exhausted, but my body's not exhausted at night, so I definitely need to start working out. I have about an hour left in the Hawkling audiobook, so I'm going to do that while I build something, and then we will respin for another audiobook as well. It's like, I want to say 8 a.m. currently. I'm going to do this, and then around lunchtime I have to head over to hang out with the doggo I'm watching. So if I don't finish this, I will have to come back tomorrow during the day for a couple hours and work on it, and I'm not going to finish it all. So I will be back tomorrow. I feel like this week has already been such an adventure, and it's only Sunday. I am currently waiting for Taco Bell to open, and then I'm gonna go through the drive-thru. But I did pick up Starbucks as well. I grabbed a pumpkin cream chai tea latte, but I made it half sweet because I don't like things as sweet. And then I added a shot of blonde espresso because obviously I need caffeine. It's delicious. I highly recommend getting it. You can screenshot that if you would like to know what to order. Last time I checked, it was this morning, and I was about to build furniture. I opened the furniture up, and I kind of came to the realization that I'm kind of dumb. So I got a bed with drawers, and I knew 2 of my drawers were going to be useless because my bed is like, in order to have the queen-sized bed, it does have to be pushed up against the wall in my room. So I'm gonna turn my car off so you can't hear it. I knew 2 drawers were going to be useless, but I was like, okay, like they're pretty big drawers, and I have 2 on the one side, and that'll be good for storage. However, when thinking about it this morning and talking to my mother, I realized I can actually only use 1 drawer because I have a nightstand that goes next to the other drawer, and I'm never going to be moving my nightstand in order to get to the drawer, which means only 1 of the 4 drawers is useful, and drawer beds are more expensive than non-drawer beds. So I came to the conclusion that I'm returning this bed tomorrow, and I'm going to go buy a different bed, one without drawers, and then I'm just gonna get like packing, these zippered packing cubes that can go under my bed for some of my storage. A lot of it's like my yarn and stuff. I decided to go pick up lunch, and then I'm heading to my friend's house to watch their dog. Yes, I did pack the wheel with me to go, and yes, I did pack a lot of the books that I need to read. Hello friends, sorry we're in like a new spot because obviously, as I said in the last clip, I'm dog sitting. Nova's over there being super cute. She's like, why are you talking to a camera? I did, however, finish the Hawkling, which does mean it's time for another spin, but also I should tell you about the Hawkling. I don't think she likes this. So I ended up giving the Hawkling 3 stars, which is really disappointing in the end because I loved the first one so much that I was like really hoping it would be a 5-star, obviously. However, I really just like struggled with the pacing in this one, and yes, the pacing was a problem in book 1, but I think I was like more forgiving because it was just book 1, and I was like, okay, well book 2 will amp up the pacing. I just wanted the plot and everything to escalate a little bit more than it did. I felt like this was just continuing on what happened in book 1. where we were just like learning the world building and the character growth and all that, but like not a lot of like direction in the plot. And yes, there is like a string that is happening. I can see the plot like slowly building, but I definitely think that this is a much more of a character driven story because the plot definitely revolves around our characters quite a bit. And it is still working for me. I still gave it 3 stars. I plan on finishing with the last book. However, I wanted it to escalate so much. Can you go back? Go to your bed. Oh, that was easy. I wanted to escalate so much more. I wanted just a lot more excitement in this story than I got, and I felt like I spent a lot of the times doing the same thing we did in book 1, which was just like mind brawling and understanding the magic system. But I understood it already, so I felt like I just like wasted my time in that kind of element. The other thing is I just kind of enjoyed Tatters more of a character. This book follows Aisha a lot more, and although I still like her, like Tatters is the interesting character to me, and like learning like the different cultures of the world was really interesting in book 1, and we don't really... I forgot the dog can open the door if I don't lock it. Let me go fix that. Okay, she's outside now, just thriving. On that note, I think it's time to spin. Where am I gonna put this? Also, I forgot to bring a marker, so the Hawkling is still obviously on here. I think it'll be the last book in the Rainwild Chronicles if I land on it. Okay, ready, set. This was not the book I wanted. It landed on Jade Legacy, which is underneath you guys right now. I have it here. Technically this book has been started. I got to page 30 last time. I don't love the Greenbone Saga series. I still really enjoy it, but it's not a favorite of mine. But this is the ending book, so it'll be really nice to have like a finished series off my list. So we are going to start that next. Okay, I am 100 pages into Jade Legacy. So far, I think this is my favorite of the series. I mean, I'm only 100 pages in, so like things could definitely change. But I'm loving the dynamic between Hilo and his wife. That is really like carrying the story for me and like seeing their trauma and their grief and how that's like really affecting them. I also am kind of liking to see the like wrap up of everything that's happened in book 1 and book 2. You're really just like seeing how all of these small things have affected them as time has gone on, and I actually am really enjoying that. I think giving myself a decent amount of time between books 2 and 3 actually really helped. Like normally I'm a binge reader. I almost could process that time went on because time went on for me. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but like there's a time jump in this. There's actually gonna be a lot of time jumps. I feel like I processed that like time moved on better because I like left this for like a few months before I continued it, where normally I like dive right into it and then I want things to like be exactly the same and feel exactly the same. And this book feels different than the other book does because time has gone on and things have happened and the characters have changed. I'm really enjoying that right now, which is actually like, shocking me. I currently feel like a 4-star, which like I gave Jade City 4 stars. I gave Jade War 3 stars. So if this is a 4-star, I'm calling it a win. Hi, good morning. I did not bring any makeup with me, so I have to go home this morning to like get ready and probably bring some with me back so that I don't have to go home every day. But I'll also probably go to get a coffee. I made it to like 50% into Jade Legacy last night. This could be the book that makes me a Greenbone Saga stan. Like every other book I've just felt was like okay. And like yes, I still like don't think that this is going to be a 5-star. I'm still feeling 4-star vibes from it. But like I'm interested in what's happening a lot. Like I know a lot of people complain about the time jumps in this. And so far time jumps haven't bothered me at this stage. I feel like they felt all very natural. Like I've barely even noticed them because it just felt natural to jump to that spot. I don't know, it feels like things have been set up. So every time there's a time jump, yes, you're missing something that happens, but it's something that I knew was going to happen and I didn't need to see happen because I feel like the like emotional moment had already been set up for me. And so then when it jumps and that thing has happened, it just feels natural because my brain had already connected those spots. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm enjoying seeing how like time has really affected the city of Jonloon, because I think you're really seeing how colonization, how outside influence, how culture can be changed by time. And I think that that's really fascinating. And like you're seeing the goods and the bads of each side because obviously like you're seeing it through generations too. So you're seeing how like the new generation looks at things differently than the older generation, but because we've seen the middle generation the most, you're like almost like rooting for the middle generation's ideals. But like I think because of how this book is written, I come from like the younger generation, so like my thoughts probably line up more with the younger generation actually. But like when reading this book, I'm so obsessed with like Hilo's POV that like I want to stand by what Hilo stands by. I think that that's like really fascinating for a book to make you do that. I've just never seen a book do this before, which I think is why this series is shouted about from the rooftop. So like I know people talk about like the Greenbone Saga or like the 5th season being overrated and like too hyped, like overhyped, but like I think that they're hyped because they both do things that I had never seen done before, and I think that's incredible, especially in a creative field where like everything has been done before. It's just like really fascinating that this book has made me appreciate Jade City and Jade War a little bit more too, because we have obviously set up for things to happen in this book. I do think that this is going to be a really great conclusion. My goals for today are to finish this, and also Grey Sister, which is still in my bedroom, so I'm not going to show it to you right now, but I'm about 100 pages from the end of Grey Sister. Still loving that. I think that one really pulls on Nona as a character a little bit more, but you're seeing how other people have reacted to Nona in that book, and I think that's why I like it, is like Nona's ideal about friendship and loyalty really does rub off on other people, and you're seeing that in book 2, which I think like I really enjoy. I also just love seeing Nona struggle a little bit with being morally gray. You see her struggle with some decisions in this book, where I feel like in book 1 you don't see her struggle with decisions at all. In this one you're mostly seeing her struggle with trying not to kill people. I think you see Nona just like, who seems like she never fails. You see her fail inside her head, which I think is interesting, because if you were an outsider looking in, Nona never fails. Nona is good at everything she does. But when you're in Nona's head, you know how hard Nona is on herself. And I think that's incredible. I love Book of the Ancestors so much, so I can't wait to finish that. I will probably end up finishing that tonight, but I'm hoping to actually make a good dent in this today and be able to finish and spin at some point, either today or like early tomorrow morning, for a next book. You can hear the dog licking his snack in the back, but I just needed to share the holy crap. This book is putting me through the emotions. I have been crying at like multiple scenes all day long. Oh God. Oh. I'm done. I cried. I had a time with this story, and I did not go into this book expecting any of these feelings. Something I complained about in book 1 and 2 was the lack of connection I had to the characters within this story. I had always heard people praising like Hilo as like this amazing character, and although I liked him, he was my favorite, I struggled connecting to these characters. In this story, Hilo, I am a Hilo stan. He's incredible. I loved him. Like I felt like I saw in this series these characters grow up, and like that is what you do. You see them start as like young kids, and you see them grow up to these adults, and then to like elders. You see them have their own kids. You see like the generational span. You see how cultures change based on each generation. You see things come back around, and how like teenagers are always teenagers. The things that we struggle with as teenagers are what every teenager struggles with. We're never the first one, and like I just like praise this story for doing that. I don't know if I read this at like the right time, and maybe if I had read Jade City and Jade War at a different time I would have connected to it, or if this was just really like the finale of finales. Like I feel like everything that was set up in book 1 and 2 made this story impact me so much more. And like, even though I didn't love book 1 and 2, this one really did impact me. Yes, I bawled my eyes out, and yes, I feel like to most people that probably means it's an automatic 5-star, but I still had things I struggled with. I still struggled to connect to lots of the characters in this. Shay has always been a character who I thought was really boring, and I've struggled with Shay the entire time. This book was no different, and Barrow also was a character that I thought was kind of just useless within the series, and I struggled with Barrow's POVs. Yes, I still have negatives about it. I do think it probably was a little bit too long, so I'm giving it a 4-star. I had a really fun time with this. Is this a new favorite series of mine? No. Do I think it does something incredible? Yes. Will I be recommending it? Yes. Do I think it's something unique to anything else out there in the market currently? Yes. The thing about the Greenbone Saga is that there is no big bad villain. If you're going into the story and you're expecting there to be like this criminal big bad that like you can root against, that's not the story, and I think that's what also makes it so interesting. Instead, the villain is time and culture changing and colonialism. Your own character believes like the own things that you believe in. Like, there is no big bad in this, just life is the big bad, and you're watching these characters go through life. I think when I picked up the Greenbone Saga, I thought it was going to be very action-packed due to the way it's always explained, and I don't think that's it. It's not this like big action-packed story. It's just this beautiful character-driven lifestyle story, and I had a great time. We need to spin, because I need a new book. If I land on Jade Legacy again, I will pick up the final book of the Bone Shard trilogy, The Drowning Empire by Andrea Stewart, which is not a 5-star prediction for me, which is why it isn't already on this list, so I'm hoping we don't land there. Okay. This is good because I have a special edition coming of this. However, I need to figure out if I can get the audiobook because I do not own the physical book at this point in time. If I can get the audiobook, it's a win. If not, I'm going to spin again and then make this my next physical read is the plan. Okay, so I actually can get the audiobook, but I decided I'm gonna finish Grey Sister tonight too. So I'm gonna spin again, and then whatever I get, one will be my audiobook and one will be my physical read. And that way, like, just in case the next spin I can't get an audiobook for, because there are some on here that have no audiobook and there's some that are only audiobook. So let's do a second spin and then I'll be reading both of those books like in tangent for the rest of the week. Okay. So I said earlier that this would be the last book of the Drowning trilogy, which I'm not excited about because I didn't love the second book in the series. However, I've done that entire book series through audio, so I'm going to get the audio for this, and then I'm going to physically read He Who Drowned the World. I think I'm just going to get the ebook for it because I have the broken binding edition coming, so I don't want to like spend lots of money on it. I just don't know when that edition's going to be at my house, but I will be finishing Grey Sister still tonight, so I don't have to worry about that quite yet. Good morning. I don't think I talked to you at all yesterday. I ended up just going back to IKEA yesterday, returning the bed frame I bought, trying to find a new bed frame. However, the one I liked they didn't have in stock, and they've been having like stock issues. So I currently don't have a bed frame, but that sounds like a later me problem, not a current Casty problem, since I'm not at home right now anyways. A McDonald's coffee because I got McDonald's breakfast today. I'm cheating on Starbucks. I went shopping yesterday too. Well, 2 of these are broken binding editions. You can probably already see. The beautiful, stunning broken binding editions of She Who Became the Sun and He Who Drowned the World came in. I spun He Who Drowned the World, so perfect timing because I do need to read it. Like, look at that edge. This is like so stunning, and like the Naked book, also just like pure stunning. I'm obsessed with these editions. I love the editions the broken binding does outside of their sub. I feel like I do this with every subscription service. I always find the sub boxes, like even like Fairy Loot, Illumicrate aren't my favorites, but the ones outside of the sub, stunning. And this was no different. I think both of these are absolutely stunning. I'm obsessed with them. This bookmark is also really pretty. And then I also went to Chapters because yesterday was release day for What Kind of Mother by Clay McLeod Chapman. I previously gave this author a 5-star. I loved Ghost Eaters, so I definitely had to pick up his newest release. This is a southern gothic horror with body horror and a missing child story. I'm really excited to see what this has in store. Clay McLeod Chapman writes some like deep stuff within his horror, and I love it. So I'm really excited for this one. I will definitely be getting this in October for a video. The other one I purchased was There's No Way I'd Die First by Lisa Springer. This is a YA horror slasher and I'm really excited. The tagline on the back of this says, "The key to surviving a scary movie is to recognize that you're living in one." We're following a girl who loves scary movies. She ends up hosting like a birthday party and then there's a killer clown on the loose and like there's no way she'd die first because she's a horror movie fanatic. I am the co-host for Lights Out Book Club in October and we are reading this. If you don't know, that's Savs from Riveting Reads Book Club. I'm very excited she asked me. I'm so excited to read this one. I think it's gonna be fun. I do love a YA slasher. I don't know why, they just like really work for me most of the time, so I'm hoping to really enjoy this and have a fun time. But you're actually probably here to listen to me talk about the last of the Drowning Empire, and I'm not loving it. I really loved book 1 and book 2 just went in a whole different direction than book 1 and I didn't enjoy that direction. I think that's just carried on to book 3 where like we're following a new magic system and like the conflict has escalated so much, but like I don't love the way it escalated. So book 1, the Bone Shard daughter, follows our main character who is the daughter of the Emperor. Now the Emperor has this thing called Bone Shard magic, which he takes the bone shard out of humans and uses that power and their life source in order to make constructs, which I thought was so fascinating and really interesting. But he has not taught anyone else how to do this, including his daughter, but she has to prove to him that she is capable of learning all about the bone shard magic. And I thought that book 1, there was like a mystery element to it. I found it so intriguing. I was so interested, and then book 2 really lost me, and I feel the same way about book 3. Like I just do not care about what's going on. I currently feel like it's going to be a 2-star, which is really sad. I really wanted to love this trilogy. I think that there's some really interesting aspects of it. And again, like I love the idea of the bone shard magic, but I feel like that really mattered in book 1, but has taken a back seat since then. I'm about 30-40% into this book, so maybe my mind will be changed and my rating will go up. I'm really hopeful for that, and I will keep you updated. I'm about to hop on some sprints for Battleathon on my channel and hopefully get a lot of reading done today. Okay, I'm outside because obviously the dog has to go outside at times. I forgot how forced the romance feels in this series and I really just dislike it, and it's a big part of the plot, which I think makes me dislike this series a little bit because like they're constantly pining over each other and like them not being together is like part of the plot and part of the conflict. And it just like, it makes me really struggle with this series. I'm about 50% in. I'm still not loving it. This is a book that I read, a series that I read, but definitely, sadly, isn't a new favorite of mine. If you liked book 2 though, I think that you will like book 3, but if you're like me and book 2 was like meh, then I think that maybe skip the finale. Okay, I ended up giving the Bone Shard War 2 stars. This is a book that I read. It's a book that I wish I didn't read. It is 625 pages long and it did not need to be 625 pages long. I wish I hadn't read it. If you liked book 2, you will continue to like book 3, but if you're like me and book 2 was a huge letdown, don't pick up book 3. Book 3 was also a huge letdown for me. We were going around in circles in this story. My opinion, we were arguing the same point again and again and again until eventually one character goes, "Actually, I think you're right," which was just like annoying because for 500 pages we were having the same argument again and again and again. Like, why couldn't you have just given up earlier on in the story? I get there'd be no plot then, no storyline, but I really just didn't appreciate it. I thought this was mostly boring. I did like the ending of the actual plot line, however there is something that happens at the end of the story that I think was very useless and not needed and doesn't make sense for a character arc. I really struggled with the characters in general. I really enjoyed Lynn's POV in the first book, however in the second book and the third book I found her very boring and like she had no personality. Most of these characters I feel like had no personality. I think that their goals ended up being their personality, which tends to be a really big struggle for me in books, especially these like big scoped fantasies about war. I think often characters just become their goal and their like alignment with the war, but I feel like even throughout war your personality can shine, and I just like really struggled with all these characters. Jovis specifically I think was a brand new character than he was in book 1. I think his character arc was set up and then went backwards, and I just like really didn't enjoy the story. I really did enjoy the story. As I said, if you liked book 2, you'll continue to like this story. Mephi still shines in this story. However, not for me. I'll be continuing on with a new read. We don't have to spin because I actually already did that and you saw that, so I will be picking up He Who Drowned the World. I actually still have yet to finish Grey Sister 2, so that is going to be a goal, and I will update you when I'm done Grey Sister or when I'm at a good checkpoint for this one. I'm really hoping that this one is better than the last one. At least I know Grey Sisters will be 5 stars. Hi. I finished Grey Sister last night, 5 stars. I truly just love Nona so much as a character that I can't see me now not giving her story 5 stars. However, I am really excited for the live show, which is happening Sunday on my channel. The 17th. I don't know when this video is going up. There's dog hair in my lip gloss. Because I do think I have some complaints about this book, which it was my favorite book of the series the first time, and I still think it is. However, there are some things that I was questioning in this, but I just still loved my time so much with it that I ended up giving it another 5 stars, which is great because it's 500 points for Red Team. I don't really have anything else to say about this. If you haven't picked up the Book of the Ancestor, please do. The themes of friendship in here I think are incredible. The themes of religion in here I think are really good. I love seeing all the pieces come together in this story. I think the ending of this book really ramps things up in my opinion, and I can't wait to reread the last book, which was my least favorite of the entire series. So I'm excited to see how that one goes. I ordered breakfast. This is a Canadian company, so I don't know if anyone else has it, but Booster Juice. I got a Mango Hurricane smoothie, and I got an energy booster in here because I didn't have coffee this morning. And then I just got a chicken panini to eat, so I'm gonna do that. However, first I wanted to open a package that I got, which is my bookmarks from being part of G's Patreon. I'm really excited to see. She sends it all in like such like pretty packaging, personally labeled, and a little wax seal. It's so cute every single time. And then you get a postcard for each month. This one is readership, and she writes like a little note on the back, which is super cute. And then the other one, both of these were Beryllium themed for July and August, is a demonology. And it is so cute. Oh my gosh, I'm already obsessed. I can already see these. I can already see these. These are so good, G. This is stunning. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. This one, like, that is so dang pretty. Oh my god. And then here is the little demonology one. Stunning. Literally stunning. This is like one of my favorite bookmarks I've ever received though. I think that this is so pretty. I'm obsessed. I love how subtle on both of these the foil is. I am a subtle foil kind of gal. So thank you, G, for being incredible and making incredible Patreon bookmarks. I just wanted to showcase them out because they're stunning. I need to go let the dog in and eat my food because she will eat my food for me. I need to read She Who Became the Sun. I'll update you at some point. That's so good. Good morning, everybody. Today is the last day of week 2, and yesterday I did not make a big enough impact into this to have this done today. I'm like 20 pages in. I did not feel like reading yesterday, and today I kind of feel the same. I've read a lot this week, so I think I'm just gonna go easy on myself, and I am reading things outside of these reading vlogs for October. Like, I am working on October vlogs currently, so it's not like I'm not reading. I'm just reading other things, I guess, because I don't think I have enough time to listen to 10 hours straight of this audiobook today to get it done in time for tomorrow. And I'm starting a whole new weekly reading vlog tomorrow with 5-star predictions. We're gonna end this here and not continue this, and this will just go back on my TBR shelf for later, maybe even later this month. Thank you guys all for hanging out and watching. I hope you had fun with me. I'm really excited that I got some sequels off my list. I mean, I've started 159 series. What is wrong with me? I need to get some of those down, completed. I completed the Greenbone Saga, I completed the Drowning Empire series, and I also am caught up on the Call Around Hawkling. I did pretty good, I think, personally. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you made it all the way to the end of this video and you'd like to leave me an emoji just to say you were here, leave me some kind of like wave or water emoji since this is blue. And if you'd like to connect with me on other platforms, my Goodreads, my Bookstagram, my Twitter, and my Patreon are all linked in the description bar below. Have yourselves an incredible day. We have a doggo. And also, if you are wanting to sign up for Battleathon, everything for that will be linked in the description bar below as well. Okay, goodbye, Nova. She's like, just give me rubs.